Welcome, believer. Today you will learn why Peter Midani is not Michael Jackson. We will do our best to present this in a way everyone can understand, providing you with comments on images, video and audio to show why Peter is not Michael Jackson. After this video you will probably laugh at yourself for ever believing he was Michael. Let's go. Let's start with the main reason why people believe Peter is Michael. There is a woman on YouTube called Pearl Jr., and she believes he is. You can recognize her older videos by the soft porn music at the beginning.
Elbow Grease Productions, in association with MichaelJacksonInsider.com, presents
Her newer videos do not have the fancy music, but usually just her face, and occasionally she sings.
Ain't nobody gonna be there for me and you.
Sometimes she is even dancing.
At a concert, I ain't worried about no haters. All my love. 1,000 kisses from you and
But mostly she just sits in her office complaining about haters and talking about her and Peter. She also made 3 longer videos, which she calls documentaries. In the third one she claims to be proving Peter is Michael. Some people believe her, because Pearl always says that she is 100% factual. We have already made some videos fact-checking her, which we would like to show you. Before we go on to the whole Peter saga, this will show you that Pearl does not have her facts straight at all. As long as there is leeches sucking out Michael's blood for their own gain, you will see me bitch about it. If you are part of Pearl's posse and think she's the bomb, please get off my page or start using your God-given ability to smell the bullshit. Pearl is bitching about me again in her recent videos. I am called hater in her videos in case you were wondering. She doesn't want people to know it's me because they might come here and read real facts, you know. She is saying that her non-clue about the Rob Simone book The Mysterious Death of Michael Jackson is very much a clue from Michael and that I am just hating on her for the fun of it and what else. She keeps claiming this mysterious book was published on June 24, 2009 because that was the date mentioned on Amazon. Then she goes on about how people need to believe her because she knows so much about this hoax and she is such a thorough investigator and Michael loves her so much, wants sex with her or something, and of course you have to buy her shitty documentaries and also donate for her crappy movie with which she thinks she might win an Oscar. First of all, I never thoroughly investigated this book because I knew the content of it, so I knew it was of no importance. I also knew it was not published before June 25. I just couldn't find any more where I read all that way back when she was still convinced Michael was dead. But hey bitch, if you're starting this crap again trying to scam people into buying your shit, I will dig a little deeper. Amazon now says the publishing date is July 1st, but that is the paperback I see. I can't find a Kindle version anymore. So when was the Kindle version released? June 24th like Pearl claims? No, no and no again. Don't let her fool you. There is no reviews that prove it was published on the 24th, there is no proof period. The earliest review is from June 26th, which as you all know is after the death announcement. Then people claim that June 26th is also way too soon to publish a book about Michael's death. They don't realize this isn't a book at all, neither is it about Michael Jackson. The author, Rob Simone, is someone who writes about conspiracies a lot. But he never wrote a damn thing about Michael Jackson. What he did write was an article about the abuse of prescription medication by physicians. The moment Michael died, Rob got smart and put Michael's name in the title and published it through a self-publisher on Amazon. Thanks to Pearl herself, we know that the actual author of the book can put in any publishing date he or she wishes on Amazon, so either he had hoped people would buy it sooner when it had the mysterious date of June 24th as a publishing date on it, or he simply put in the wrong date. I do that myself all the time because I never know what date it is. I even forget how old I am sometimes. It was published the earliest on June 25th itself in the late evening, or on the 26th, the day of the first review. Rob did what Pearl does, he was trying to make more money by using Michael's name. There is a blog post from June 27th about the book on a Dutch website, which is why I had trouble finding it 9 years later. I kept searching in English. This was published only 2 days after the alleged death and thus way more credible than Pearl's assumptions, since she didn't even think he was alive until February of 2010. All she has, comes from people who really shed blood, sweat and tears to find the truth. Here is the translation of the post. I'll paste the link to the original post as well.
Michael Jackson had been dead for only a few hours when the first book about his death was already available in the Amazon's Kindle store. At least that is how The Mysterious Death of Michael Jackson by Rob Simone is called. No publisher can compete with this, but is it really a must-have for fans of the King of Pop? Not if we believe Just a Dreamer. According to this reader from Texas, you pay the price of a book, but it is just an article of a few pages about the misuse of medications prescribed by doctors. According to the reviewer, the author of The Mysterious Death of Michael Jackson simply wants to make money off of the hype of Michael's death. Bookbeer, from Los Angeles, however, says he now understands better how it went on. According to this reader, this quick read shines a light on a problem that affects thousands of Americans. Well, that still doesn't tell us anything about the death of the King of Pop. Which is not strange because at the insistence of the family a second autopsy will take place. The first one did not reveal what caused the fatal cardiac arrest of Jackson.
There you have it. The book is not even about Michael and it was published after his death. It's an article on a topic widely known before Michael opted out. Now if it were a book describing in detail what went on at Carolwood Drive, mentioning stuff we couldn't have known back then yes, it's a clue. But it's not. It's a non-clue. Pearl doesn't know shit. She wants to make money off of Michael's name by scamming his fans. For God's sake, people, use your common sense. Call me hater all you want, but someone has to call her out on her bullshit. She knows nothing. Keep your hard-earned money in your pocket or donate it to charity if it's burning in your hand. Buy some new shoes even, I don't care, but don't give it to her. If she wants to make a documentary or a movie, she can fund it herself, or find an investor. But she won't because no one will burn themselves on that atrocious scrap. Do you think I never had to spend my own money to keep the website online? Need a dedicated server for that shit? Not cheap, I can tell you. I will never ask any of you for money and I will never put any advertisement on my website. You know why? Because I do it to help the real Michael Jackson. The guy she clearly knows nothing about. I am looking forward to the day where I can laugh at her in her face. Because that day will come, for God is good. Be smart, be safe. Oh, and feel free to share this shit.
But where did he get a real dead body double? I think I figured this out. On June 26, 2009, less than 24 hours after it was announced that Michael Jackson died, the Daily Mail reporter posted an article called "Michael Jackson Said to be Embalmed at the O2 Center after missing deadline for cryonic freezing, which is probably not true, but there's a clue. It's cryonics. With cryonic freezing, which is the freezing of an almost dead body, but the body must be declared legally dead, and it is frozen and preserved with the hopes that it can be healed and brought back to life at a later date.
Wrong.
In cryonics, which is the preservation of a legally dead body by freezing it, there are two ingredients needed when freezing the body. One of them is liquid nitrogen, and the other, which is to preserve the brain, is propofol.
Wrong.
Here's another bombshell.
How is your body actually preserved? What's the science behind cryonics?
The quicker you do it, the less damage will occur. And the process begins with the cooling of the body, and especially the head, sometimes while continuing to pump the blood so that oxygenated blood flows to the brain, and that limits the damage in the meantime.
See that red mark on that body? Yep, it's in the exact position as the propofol apparatus used to preserve bodily functions.
Wrong.
Let's imagine that I have terminal cancer and my days are counted. I come to you and we have already done all the paperwork and signed the contract. What happens next?
Well, if we have advance warning, as we have in the majority of recent cases, we'll send a standby team out, which as the name implies means they come and they stand by and wait until clinical death has been declared, which was not the same as biological death. So essentially today's doctor saying there's nothing much more I can do for this patient. Maybe I could actually revive them for a while, but they're just going to die again. So at that point, the standby team goes into action. Suppose we're in a hospital or a hospice. As soon as clinical death has been declared, within seconds, we'll lift the patient, put them in an ice bath like this. Actually, in a remote location, it'd be a lighter version of this one. This is more for local cases. We'll cover the patient with ice externally to begin external cooling. We'll take over respiration. We'll restart circulation by essentially, it's just like doing CPR, except this device also has suction as well as pressure downwards. So we're restarting everything, essentially.
There were reports that the brain was being tested.
I do not find a measurement of the propofol level in the brain in the coroner's report.
That's why propofol experts were dumbfounded by the levels being so high in that body. Especially since propofol dissipates out of the system rather quickly in a living person. And that's why the propofol levels were so high, because they were injected after death.
Wrong.
Patient, we'll access the major blood vessels of the heart and connect those up to the heat exchanger and the perfusion machinery here. And the idea there is to wash out the blood and body fluids as quickly and thoroughly as possible. and replace those with a cryoprotectant, which will be in the reservoir here. And that starts off at a fairly low concentration because we don't want to chemically shock the cells, and we gradually ramp that up in concentration over time. So it's circulating and recirculating through the patient, gradually raising that concentration. The idea is to try and eliminate ice crystal formation. Ice crystals are the enemy of good biological sustainability. So actually what we will do in the end is vitrify the patient. The solution will get colder and colder, more and more viscous, and become really like a glass-like solid, holding everything in place.
Pearl says Peter sounds a lot like Michael and he dances like Michael. What Pearl fails to mention is that she uses at least 3 impersonators besides Peter to make you believe that. The dancing Michael in her documentary is called Pablo, who is an actor from Spain. He goes by the name Sofrago from Ashes on YouTube and is an okay dancer but really not even ballpark with Michael. The voices she uses in her documentary are both from Peter and the main voice, who is not Peter, but another Michael Jackson voice impersonator.
So do you believe this is Michael Jackson talking and singing?
Love never felt so good, and I'd die if it ever could. Not like you hold me, oh baby. Love never felt so fine, and I'd die if it's ever mine. It's not like you hold me in the night through the thick and thin. Gotta fly, gotta see, can't believe I can't take it, 'cause baby, every time I love you, it's in and out of my life, in and out, baby.
Voice analysts, huh? Plural even. No interviews with these voice analysts. Have these voice analysts also compared the voice to Michael? I mean, if you're paying multiple people to make a voice analysis, I would have made them compare the voice with the real deal as well. Do we know names of these analysts? I would love to contact them. Let's mix this main voice guy in with Michael's a real voice, see how that sounds.
Love never felt so good, and I could ever could. Not like you hold me.
Now I'm no expert, but I have very good ears. This guy not only sounds different, he is also tone deaf and his timing is horrible. Now let's listen to Peter Midani, aka Peter Ben PYT.
Alright, I'm still on Messenger. It's April the 19th of 2018, and I'm still signed on and MSN. I still use both of them, and also Yahoo Messenger. I haven't signed off yet, so I'm still on both of them, all three of them. MSN, and Yahoo.
For those who forgot what Michael sounds like, here is the real deal talking.
What is your greatest lesson learned?
Not to trust everybody. Not to trust everybody in the industry. There's a lot of sharks, and record companies steal, they cheat. You have to audit them, and it's time for artists to take a stand against them, because they totally take advantage of them. Totally. They forget that it's the artists who make the company, not the company who make the artists. Without the talent, the company would be nothing but just hardware. I mean, just, you know, and it takes that real good talent that the public wants to see.
Anyone who believes any of these voices could be Michael Jackson, needs to go see a doctor, because either you have problems with your hearing, or you have brain damage. And it's not just the voice that is off, it is the whole way of speaking. Peter sounds like he has a learning disability, and even sounds like a little kid, despite him being in his late 30s. And I don't even say that to diss Peter, I honestly believe Peter is mentally challenged. That is not something that is his fault, it's an observation. And I am baffled every day when I see Michael's so-called fans kissing Peter's ass, only because they think he is Michael. Michael, you are such a genius, they say, yet Peter can't even spell correctly and his grammar is even worse. And I have warned Peter a few times already that in the end, when people finally see the truth, they will drop him like hot metal. And don't just blindly believe Pearl. She was so sure in this next video as well, yet she had to apologize later on and remove the video from her Amazon page because it turned out to be yet another voice impersonator.
Most of you guys missed this video, missed this audio by Michael Jackson. It is on my, turn it around. Oh, it turned around real fast. It is on my Amazon page for the Alive trilogy of Michael Jackson docs. Listen.
I was born in 1958.
Oh, wait, I want to start it over.
I passed away on June 25th. I love you guys so much. I miss you. I was born in 1958, and I passed away on June 25th, 2009. I miss all my fans around the world. I look over you each day. It's now 2018, and you're still celebrating my life. I am so thankful. I love you guys so much. I miss you.
Okay, guys, see, that is, I put that on my Amazon page. It's on my Amazon page for the Alive trilogy of Michael Jackson docs. Now, that was released right after I had posted on my YouTube page, Michael Jackson calling Donald Trump, the president, and I guess somebody said, no, if you want Michael Jackson's real voice, here it is. So it's him telling everyone that he died. And of course, if you're dead, you can't tell people that it's 2018 when you died in 2009, and that, and thanks for celebrating my life and all this other stuff. Now, somebody can say, oh, that's spliced together, but it's pretty good. You know, it is pretty good, and it's definitely Michael's voice. It's definitely Michael's voice. It's definitely Michael's voice.
Lots of his tweets are about this clothing line he wants to have made. Apparently Peter believes he can make money by selling black t-shirts with his logo. Now usually I wouldn't have had an issue with that, because it's just a t-shirt, but in this case I believe that if people will buy one, it will be because they think he is Michael and not because his logo is so beautiful. That is commercial deception to me. The whole t-shirt thing is a disaster, business-wise at least. Let me explain why, so you will understand why Michael, who is a very savvy businessman, would never ever do anything like this. Peter has had labels made, polybags and what else which might look professional, but really isn't the smartest to do with the small quantities he must buy. He has, at a busy moment, maybe 20 or 30 people in his chat? And he barely has likes and comments on his Twitter. Let's say they all buy a shirt and some buy two even, so he bought 50 shirts. If he bought more, that would be very dumb. In that case he and his family will probably have black shirts for life. When you buy only 50 shirts, you often have to buy them without imprint, and have them customized elsewhere, which is making it a lot more expensive. If he screen prints, which would look good, he needs to have at least 3 colors printed. The white has to be printed double because of the dark background, and then there is black and a gray gradient. The starting costs for the screens will be anywhere from $50 to $150, and then he will pay $2 for the logo printing itself. That is if he is lucky. Prices vary a lot and might get very high if you don't have the right connections. The cheaper option for him might be to transfer a full color printed logo on there, which gives you a stiff, round plaque on your chest that usually starts cracking after a wash or two, unless you paid good money. So just for the logo itself the cost would be around $5 minimum. The t-shirt itself, if you want a shirt that won't be whiter than it is long after washing it once, will be at least around $5 to $7 as well. The custom polybags, minimum quantity mostly around 100 pieces, would be around $75, adding another $1.50, and then there is the label and the business card as well. Add to that the time he spent designing the bag, the label etc. That will add up to some hours as well. Let's assume he did all that in 3 hours, and his rate is $25 an hour, you will have to add another $1.50 to your shirt. In this case the cost price of this shirt is somewhere around $15. Then you have to add the profit. Anyone who owns a business will know that the sales price of $20 will not cut it. He will have to make a simple black shirt way too expensive to cover his costs and make a buck as well. The quality of the shirt will not justify the cost of the shirt. People will complain, send shirts back because they are disappointed with the quality compared to the price they have paid, and Peter will have to send new shirts or send a refund and cover all that with a total profit on this shirt from around $500 to $750 max. And yes, that is my expert opinion, since I have worked in import and export of custom apparel and merchandise, so I know what I am talking about. Now what would Michael do? First of all, Michael wouldn't do shit. He is a billionaire. If he wants printed t-shirts, he has people working for him who know what they are doing. He might have a say in the look of the shirt, but that is probably about it, if even that. His people would have thousands of them custom made in Turkey, Pakistan or Bangladesh with his name, logo and face all over it, because that is what sells. Think about it, why doesn't Peter have anything on that t-shirt that could violate Michael's trademark? If he is really Michael, why not just put his face and name on there? This is again my expert opinion because the company I worked for in the past had merchandise made for promotion of Michael Jackson's This Is It back in 2009. So I can tell you with 100% certainty that Michael Jackson doesn't call or email himself. One of the most recent tweets shows his certificate of authenticity for a barcode he bought. Again a big clue this is just some guy in a basement trying to do things cheap. The company he bought it from is not an official channel to buy barcodes from. You have to purchase your barcodes at GS1, which sells them worldwide, and you pay an annual fee. Only after a court case, companies like the one Peter purchased from, are allowed to resell barcodes they purchased in bulk before August of 2002. They cost $5 a piece online without an annual fee and you get a digital certificate with it like the one he posted. The issue is that there are some barcode reseller companies around that are selling their barcodes illegally. They are selling numbers that are not covered by the 2002 settlement, and that therefore still belong to GS1 and are still subject to ongoing membership fees. If you do decide to purchase barcodes from a reseller company, instead of GS1, you have to make sure that you check that it is a legitimate barcode reseller. To be safe, it's recommended to purchase your UPC codes only from GS1 directly. The first 6 to 9 digits of your barcode are your company prefix. The company prefix is a unique identifier of the product's manufacturer. Basically, as a supplier, your company prefix will remain the same on the barcodes of all your different products. Each product that you offer will then be assigned a unique product code that will follow your company prefix. GS1 gives each seller a set number of digits to use for product numbers depending on the number of future products the seller indicates in his or her application. The initial setup fee ranges from the low end of $250 but can be as much as $10,000 depending on how many different products you intend on selling. After the initial fee, GS1 does charge an annual renewal fee to maintain your company prefix. This cost ranges from $50 a year on the low end and around $3,000 on the high end. Although it might be tempting to go through a third-party barcode vendor, or find a cheaper UPC code on websites like eBay, the cost of buying UPC codes from GS1 is much less than the money you can potentially lose by purchasing illegitimate UPC codes. Now try to use that thing called common sense again. First of all, why would Michael Jackson, that genius businessman, take such a risk buying old and fishy barcodes? To save $250? Does that sound like something Michael would risk? Secondly, why would Michael Jackson need a single barcode? I am pretty sure with all the merchandise he has sold in his life that there are some left to use for these shirts. But let's say he did need new barcodes, why did he buy only one? According to Peter's most recent label design, he is going to sell the shirt in 6 different sizes. Doesn't he know that you need a unique barcode for each color and size? So if he sells the shirts only in black, but in 6 different sizes, he will need 6 barcodes. Why did he order just one? Another thing he often tweets about is his website. And I wish him all the luck in the world with his website, honest truth. But look at it. I know Michael's official site isn't much, but it's a true masterpiece compared to Jackson's empire. It's plain, it's messy, and I have seen tons of spam on it. Michael would not try to make his own website, nor would he make his own mobile apps. He has people working for him, and if not, he can hire the best of the best because the dude is a billionaire. He's not going to waste his time on that. And even if he would, Michael is a perfectionist. Believe me, he would not have put that online. Again, not to diss Peter, if people like the website then all good, and if he enjoys it then even better, but I am merely trying to make you see why he is not Michael Jackson without mentioning the obvious, which is his real name, date of birth and address, which are known by many as well, or by showing his real pictures, which can be found all over the internet as well. And believe me, Michael is not sitting behind his computer with a fat suit on. I don't think you guys realize how long it would take to put on such a disguise every day and how uncomfortable it is. Here is Paris telling you that Peter is not Michael. Then Pearl, who trashes Paris on a regular basis, just claims that she, Pearl Jr., knows better how Michael sounds than his own kid. Jermaine called Pearl out once as well, and so did Jafar. But apparently Michael Jackson fans believe a journalist over Michael's own family now. Who sees the irony in that? Pearl acts like she is the chosen one by Michael. Now use your brain one more time. Why would Michael, out of all the fans in the world, pick a journalist? And I know there are still some good ones left. They are rare, but they're still around. Pearl is not one of them. Not only is she clearly not the sharpest tool in the box, she also has a very nasty personality. And yes, I know some of you will say the same about me, but I never claimed to be an angel, and if I am nasty to you, then either you're easily offended, or you deserved it because you're a bitch yourself. Pearl doesn't only attack me, or some others who speak out against her. She also attacks her own followers when they ask her something or challenge one of her fantasies. If you don't believe what she believes, you're stupid and a hater. And I would understand it if those people would make nasty comments, but the people who ask nicely still get the crazy. Pearl also doesn't do her own research. She has stolen almost everything from the forum and other believers. A few months ago she attacked me for having Michael Joseph Jackson in my video, saying I was dumb for not knowing his middle name is Joe. She forgets to mention that I am the one she stole the whole Joe versus Joseph thing from in the first place, and the mention of Joseph in my video clearly had a different meaning. Whoever is interested in the proof of that, I will gladly show you. Just do searches for her theories on the forum, you will see which believer came up with it in the first place. She stole other people's work and is making money off of it. Lastly, Pearl is very much a racist. She will use her mixed granddaughter to defend herself, but just do a search on YouTube for Pearl Jr. and racist and you will be disgusted by what comes out of her mouth, unless you're racist yourself. Pearl doesn't like white women or black men who date or marry them. Given the fact that Michael married 2 white women, you should ask yourself what her motives really are. The lyrics of black or white fell on deaf ears with Pearl. I doubt that Michael, knowing what I know about the real Michael, would even like Pearl. And if Michael faked his death, which he clearly did, then there is a damn good reason for it. Don't you think he would ask Pearl to spread the truth about why he had to fake his death, instead of trying to smoke him out? Get his message out instead of making up retarded clues? I am sorry, but I really believe that if you believe these scam artists have anything to do with Michael Jackson, that you have no idea who Michael Jackson is. I could honestly go on and on about this, but I will end it here. There is more videos about this scam couple on my YouTube, all together in a playlist. I will be making more videos in the future as long as this stuff is going on and when I have time. If you have been duped by them but found the truth, I would love to hear your story. I have said it before and I will say it again, Michael is not online egging on his fans. Michael is in hiding. If you are talking to him, you will not know, nor would you suspect it. He is not stupid and you shouldn't be either. Be safe, and always question everything and do your own research.